Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the carpet set for the Jaguar S-Type models. Also applicable to the Jaguar 420 as they are essentially a variant of the S-Type. This particular carpet set is for a right-hand drive car with an automatic gearbox. The cars and the carpet sets did vary between right-hand drive and left-hand drive, and then also between automatic and manual. We have the patterns for all of them, so not a problem at all. And it is worth checking out other videos on the YouTube channel, as there will almost certainly be different variants on there that I've covered. There'll be some video links at the end of this video, but also just check out the whole YouTube channel and the playlists, etc., as it will give you a nice overview and guide of all the different Jaguar S-Type and Jaguar 420 parts that we can offer. But like I say, this is a right-hand drive manual. The overall concept of them is exactly the same. Obviously, for right-hand drives, the cutaways for the pedals, etc., on the right-hand front floor, whereas on the left-hand drives, they'll be on the left-hand front floor. And then the main overriding difference as well is the size and shape of the gearbox sides and the front floors, dependent on right-hand drive, left-hand drive, automatic and manual. So it's still a good guide as to a carpet set. You just have to use your imagination for the cutaways. But like I say, do check out our other videos. This particular carpet set has been done in our Savile grey wool, which is a dark grey, and it's been edged in French blue. Now, French blue was an original colour that Jaguar used during this era, and effectively Savile grey is the version of French blue when it comes to carpets colours. So we've literally edged it in French blue. Now, the rest of the interior that we're doing for this gentleman is in French blue, so that's obviously the toning of the edging there goes to the rest of the interior trim that we've done for them there. But it's these sorts of little details that we go to that a lot of companies don't, in that we've edged the carpets in French blue to match the main trim, but we could also edge it in Savile grey, which would tie in with the main trim colour, but they are extremely similar colours. You'd not really notice them too different, but we do go to those lengths of degrees of having slightly different shadings on things like that, so do bear that in mind. And of course, we're more than happy to offer you samples. In fact, we encourage it. So this video is going to showcase the carpet set, which is everything in this video at the moment, and then we're going to touch on the extras that you might require, which would include effectively the Underfelt soundproofing for underneath the carpets, as well as the fixings. This video isn't covering anything related to the boot trunk area. I will do a separate video for that, so do check that out as well. The carpet set is included as standard in our trim kit, but we also sell it as a kit, as per this. Essentially, a trim kit is the most economical way of restoring the whole of your Jaguar S-Type, because it includes pretty much everything you need to redo the interior of the car, including the carpet sets, the fixings, and the undercarpet felts as well. And it does work out significantly cheaper to buy it as a trim kit than it does all of the items within the trim kit individually. But of course, if you're just looking to replace the floor carpets and related items, then of course we can accommodate for that with this kit here. So I'll go through each piece logically from front to the back in a second and reference them in the book. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a book that clearly shows sort of S-type carpets, so I will mainly be referencing Mark II and Daimler for the position of the carpets, because that's the book I have. But again, the overall concept of where they lay in the car is almost identical. It's just the shapes that change, etc. Before I go in, I just wanted to talk to you about the edging of carpets. Now, I've mentioned obviously it's French blue colour-wise, but the material we use is leathercloth. Leathercloth, also known as vinide or Rexin, is the original material used during this era to edge carpets and to pipe seats and things like that, and we stay true to that. A lot of other companies out there do not. They use vinyl to edge their carpets, which is a thicker material. It's a lot more bulbous, gives a thicker edge look to it, but also a bit wrinkly, and it scuffs very easily. Presumably people do this for one of two reasons. One, they don't really understand the core differences between leathercloth and vinyl, and therefore think there's no harm in doing it in vinyl, but more than likely it's because they're doing a cost-saving exercise. They don't want to have to stock an extra material, but again, we go through those extra levels and steps of those sorts of things, and I am planning on doing a video and a blog post detailing the differences between vinyl and leathercloth in terms of their usefulness, shall we say, and suitability to edging carpets and piping seats. But When it comes to carpets, we only ever edge our carpets in leathercloth, and it creates a lovely, beautiful finish there, lovely, neat and tight. And like I say, leathercloth, it's a slightly thinner material than vinyl, but it's very robust. It's got a slightly different backing to it and a face as well. And so you can kind of scratch leathercloth and nothing happens to it. Whereas if you did that to vinyl, you would find that you'd actually end up scuffing and cutting the vinyl. And it goes around corners absolutely beautifully. We have a sort of 1940s Singer sewing machine that binds all our edges for us, which will be featured in my blog and handbook post and a YouTube video. So do check that out. But yeah, I wanted to touch on the fact that we use not only the original material, but the most suitable and applicable material to edge our carpets, which a lot of other companies do not. While we're talking about edging carpets, you'll see that some of the carpets are edged, but not all. And the concept of that is that when everything is said and done in the car and fitted, no raw edge of carpet should be on show. They're either going to be tucked underneath the adjacent edge of a bound edged carpet, or they're going to be tucked underneath the adjacent sort of panel work. So a good example of that is the sill carpets, which don't have any edging on them, because the top edge gets tucked underneath the sort of door sills and the bottom edge tucks underneath the respective front and rear floor carpets, which are edged. Same again on the sort of gearbox sides, etc., console sides. Top edge will be tucked underneath the console, bottom edge underneath the front floor carpets, etc. And that ties into our sort of considered design of our carpet sets. Obviously, all of our carpets and all of our parts are templated on originals, which we have samples of. However, over the years, we've obviously worked with very high-end restorers around the world, and we're very receptive to feedback on making sure that these carpets are the best fitting carpets in the industry. And one of the ways we've done that is on carpets where we know that there is no edging to them, we've made them slightly wider or slightly longer so that it gives you a bit more play during the fitment process. Anyone that's fitted carpets to a car will know that it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. You can't just sort of lay down the front floor carpets and expect it to fill that void in the bodywork shell straight away. It's a jigsaw puzzle, and it starts coming together once you put the console sides on and the sills, etc., because you'll find that the carpets overlap one another and create a nice seamless finish when everything is said and done. So it does counts to really keep that in mind. One, for how our templates are improved on the original ones, albeit obviously very much based on the original ones, but also that element when you come to fit, really do keep that in mind, that placing one carpet in there can be quite misleading, but when you start to place all of the surrounding carpets in place, you'll see how it starts logically coming together. So yeah, just wanted to touch on that. Right, let's start at the front of the car. I'll just grab this book, but do bear in mind, like I say, it is not an actual S-Type that I'm going to be referring to, because I don't have a coloured book for that. I've got only a black and white one, which doesn't show up very well. So let's start with the gearbox side. So you get a pair of them. Obviously, these are auto. The manual ones are a different shape, but these are effectively the bits that sit underneath the console area to the left and right of the gearbox, go up into the footwell and underneath the console there. So you get a pair of them. They don't have any edging on them, but they are oversized, so you've got plenty of play with them there. Then you get this piece here. Now, obviously, this is a right-hand drive, so it sits on the right-hand front floor area, and this is the piece that sits kind of in place of where the headlight dip dimmer sort of pedal switches. So it's sort of mounted onto the side of the gearbox area there. It often causes a bit of confusion because people don't really know where it ends up when everything is said and done in the car, but that is that piece there, which has a bit of edging on it, but not all the way around because it's tucked underneath the adjacent front floor, as you can see as it wraps around there. So that's that piece there. You then have obviously the front floor carpets. So it's a pair of them. They're edged all the way around. They have the heel pads on them. Obviously, this is right-hand drive, so it's got the cutaway here for where the throttle pedal is. The toe board obviously sort of curls up like that, bends up. You have this cutaway here, which I believe is for the steering column that comes out. And then you have the cutaways at the back here, which is all for the sort of seat mounting points, effectively, on the car there. The heel pad. You have a couple of different options for heel pads, dependent on what colours you're going for. So Stovvic was the original material that Jaguar used, which we do offer, but it has a fairly limited colour palette. So, for example, for grey, which is effectively kind of what French blue is. It only has a light grey shade, which would stick out like a sore thumb. So for certain colours, you know, your blacks, your dark blues, your biscuits and things, Stovvic's absolutely fine, and that's what we would default to. But for other colours where we want to make sure that everything ties in nicely in your restoration, we would use plastic. We would cover it in leathercloth, which is the same material that we use for the edging, and therefore the heel pad and the edging match 100%, and it all ties in absolutely beautifully. So that is what we've done in this case here, because Stovvic doesn't allow for that particular shade of French blue. So yeah, a pair of front floors. Obviously the left hand front floor on a right hand drive car is fairly plain. It doesn't have any cutaways, etc., apart from the ones for the seat runners, so you get a pair of those as well. Just reference there, you can obviously see the heel pad there, and this is the cutaway in the front floor, albeit for a Mark II. Then you get a pair of sill carpets, left and right, pre-cut, slightly oversized, so it allows you to get that seamless finish I've mentioned before, and you get the cutaway there for these sort of cross-member seat mounting points already pre-done, which is a great way to line up the sill carpets. I know a couple of other companies out there that give you effectively a rectangle of carpet, which seems generous, but actually it makes harder work for you because you don't exactly know where to line it all up. So again, we go to that extra degree of help, shall we say, in terms of doing pre-cuts there, so it gives you a bit of a guide of where to start effectively. Then you've got kind of the middle section of the car. If I just work my way back, so effectively the cross member section here, and we oversupply when it comes to the cross member section. Let's just move that piece out of the way because that's a bit further back. We oversupply. You get some carpet pieces, which are used effectively. There's a little bit just between the seats there that you'll need that for. And then for the sort of cross-member seat mounting runners, etc., we oversupply. So you get bits of vinyl, bits of carpet, and bits of moquette. You'll need most of it, but not all of it. The cars did vary in terms of what they actually used in some of these areas here, and so we've always taken the mentality it's best to give you more of these things and gives you the choice to use exactly what you want, as opposed to taking a gamble on what you think should be there and not having the right ones. So like I say, you get some vinyl pieces there, some carpet pieces, and then you also get some moquette pieces, which moquette is a short pile non-backed version of carpet. Not bad colour match either on those sorts of things, and they're great for mounting to the actual bits that the seats sit on top of and bolt through to colour everything in. I mean, it's those little details that really do make a nice difference sometimes, because ultimately they're not really seen when everything's said and done in the car, because obviously the seats sit on top of them. But we like to, again, go to that nth degree with these sorts of things there. So you get all of those bits there for that sort of cross-section seat mounting part in the middle. Then you get the rear floor carpets, a pair of them, and these do change between right-hand drive and left-hand drive. This is obviously right-hand drive, with the key cutaway being you have a curved corner on the right-hand rear floor for where the handbrake comes out there. Obviously for the left hand, it would be on that side there, it would be effectively a mirror. Then they're bound all the way around. You get the cutaways there again for the seat mounts effectively. And then you get this section here, which we pre-cut, but then we do bind across the top there, and we do that intentionally. So you'll see there you've got double stitching going on. So that's what they call back tacking. And that means that when you come to cut, to gain access to it, it will not start fraying back because we've already pre-stitched twice basically. And so we do that on both rear floors, and it's a considered design. Again, some people, some other companies out there I've seen, they literally bind around this area here, but actually the way the seat mountings go on these cars, having that extra thickness of binding going around that area can look a bit clumpy. So we actually just literally cut round it, which allows you to literally place it and push it down around the seat mounting, and so it literally kind of morphs and molds around the seat mounting when everything's done. And again, it's one of those little tactics that we've used over the years due to good feedback from these high-level restorers that trust our kits, to enable you to get the best fitting kit effectively around that area there. So you get a pair of rear floor carpets. Like I say, right hand has the cutaway for the handbrake, left hand does not. Then they both have these cutaways here for the seat mountings on the outside, which is bound, on the inside, which is just cut. Then you get the prop shaft tunnel. So that is the piece that sits literally, let's move that out of the way. So it's that piece there just before the rear seat. So you get that piece as well. And then finally for the carpet pieces, you get these L-shaped pieces here and here, which effectively wrap round. So you kind of get this step section that the sill goes up onto, and these bits wrap round onto underneath the rear seat effectively, and you get a pair of those there. If you are struggling to work out some of the placement of some of these pieces, or even if your professional trimmer is, then do let us know, because I have lots of photos of in-progress restorations, i.e. part trimmed cars for S-types and all the other Jag saloons as well. So more than happy to help with that side of things. Like I say, it can be a bit of a jigsaw puzzle sometimes, so not a problem. Just get in contact with us once you've received our kit and we can go over it. So that's the carpet set. Like I say, it's sold as a carpet set, but it is included as standard in the trim kit if you're going down that route. In addition to that, you'll want to consider the extras, which are effectively the fixings. So the fixings on the Jaguar Saloon models were these black plastic mushroom fixings, effectively two-part male and female. So the male part gets pierced through the top of the carpet. Female part is on the underside and locks in effectively like that. I'm not going to push it all the way through because I'll never get it out again. Like that. And then these mount onto the bodywork elements of the cars with the fixings there. They are only available in black, but I do know several people that go through the extra effort of painting those roughly the same colour as the interior trim, so that's always an option. Again, placement of those should be dominated by the actual bracket elements in the car on the bodywork, but if you need a basic guide, I can give you a bit of an overview, and again I have some photos there, but it should be dominated by what's in the car already. They are sold separately to the carpet set, but they are included as standard in the trim kit. Finally, the Underfelt under carpet felt kit effectively. We offer a natural jute felt kit. So this is jute felt, has a coating on the top side being basically when everything's said and done in the car, it's in there like that. That is facing up towards the sky, the felt towards the floor. So we offer that kit, again sold separately to the carpet set, but included as standard in the trim kit. Now, this is the question I always get asked. You're installing modern day Dynamat or Dodo matting. There's lots of different brands out there, but Dynamat's certainly the most well-known brand name out there. Do you need one of our natural jute felt kits? And it really does depend on the thickness of the modern day sound and heat barrier kit that you're using. So I'm not going to try and convince anyone that our natural jute felt kit is as good as the modern day stuff. It's not. This is literally in line with what they used back in the sort of 60s and 70s era. The modern day sort of Dynamat kits are absolutely fantastic. I've got them in my car. My father has them in his car. And they're absolutely brilliant. So we do recommend you go down that route. And we are looking in the future to offer pre-made kits using those materials, but at the moment we don't. But always check in with us because you never know. So back to the point, do you need them in addition? And it depends on the thickness. So the really high-end modern day stuff is very, very thin when everything's said and done in the car and everything's applied. And you've got to remember that these carpets are templated to design and fit in a car with a certain thickness of felt underneath them. We say anywhere between 5 and 10 millimeters that effectively you want underneath your carpets. But actually, I'd say on the S-Type, especially around the gearbox and front floors, you want that extra thickness. Our natural jute felt kits there is 6 mil as standard. And we actually double up a couple of our felt pieces in this kit here to allow for that extra thickness that's required for good placement around the gearbox and front floors, etc. So I'd say if you're using some of the modern day stuff that's really thin, and like I say, some of it goes down to basically nothing, you know, like a millimeter or less, then yes, you do want our natural jute felt kit in addition to that, and it will just sit on top. It will add nothing more in terms of heat and soundproofing, because the modern day stuff is doing all of the job of that. But it does help with the placement of the carpets in the car. And also it gives you a nice soft underfoot feel as well. So it's worth considering that as well. So really does depend. I'm not going to try and sell you something you don't need, but also a lot of people assume that you don't necessarily need the felt kit, the sort of standard felt kit, because they've got the modern day stuff and that's doing a job. And you've always got to think about the thickness underneath the carpets and therefore the placement within the car. So do bear that in mind. But yeah, I think that covers everything. So carpet set is sold as a carpet set. Fixings are sold separately. Felts are sold separately. All of them are included as standard in the trim kit. Lots of different colours available, so do see that on our website. And when it comes to edging the carpets as well, there are a few different options for that, dependent on what look and feel you're going for in the car. So do bear that in mind. The carpet set does differ between right-hand drive and left-hand drive, and also between automatic and manual. We have all of the patterns, and do check out our other videos for more information on that. Hope you found it useful. Please remember to like, subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts out there. Yeah, of course, check out the videos at the end of this one and any other videos on our channel. And please tune in to the next one. Thanks very much.